He's a really useful engine, you know. All the other engines, they'll tell you so. He hops and puffs and whistles, rushing to and fro. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one, he's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one, he's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine.
It was a beautiful day at Stefano Station, and Henry the Green Engine was just getting some freight cars. He was waiting for Duck, the Great Western Engine, to come and shunt his brake van to the rest of the train, when Diesel 10 oiled up and then crash! The cars toppled off the rails, and Diesel 10 greeted Henry in a sinister way.
Hope you don't mind derailed trucks, Greenie.
Diesel 10 said sinisterly. Then Henry the Green Engine snapped right back at him. Diesel 10! Stop trying to ruin our work! But Henry's comeback didn't faze Diesel 10 one bit.
Why should I, Square Wheels?
Diesel 10 said intimidatingly. Henry couldn't come up with a comeback, and so he puffed away angrily. Diesel oiled away, knowing he had won. Henry had huffed and puffed up and down the tracks angrily. He passed the new avocado stand that was open. Soon, he found James sleeping in a siding. It was the tunnel to the railway which would lead engines in and out. Henry puffed even closer, but saw that James didn't even notice him and kept snoring away.
James! Eyes open! James! Ready to die!
Henry saw that he wasn't getting anywhere, so to wake James up, he peeped his whistle very loudly. It was so loud that James puffed out of the tunnel to see who it was. When he saw Henry, he decided to speak with him.
I'm awake. That's right, Henry. No need to get your buffers in a twist,
said James angrily, since he was rudely awakened. Henry decided to talk to him about a plan to get Diesel 10 out of their way. James, I'm tired of Diesel 10 ruining all our work. He keeps on bothering us, don't you think? Said Henry. James couldn't help but agree.
Yeah, I'm tired of him too. Do you have a plan?
You bet I do.
Alright, wait. Let me guess, this is some hard-brained scheme to knock Diesel 10 out.
James said. Henry failed at lying and so decided to tell the truth. Yeah, how did you know?
Lucky guess.
Alright, so you'll go and create a distraction while I grab some cars and biff it into Diesel. Okay? Let's go!
Alright, let's go.
And soon the two were off. Henry then went down one way while James went down the other to go do their separate jobs and get the mission done. Diesel was just helping out Edward during all this, and Edward, being the kind engine that he was, decided to speak to Diesel.
I do appreciate you helping out, you piss-colored Diesel.
Diesel 10 ignored it and just kept on working. Then the two heard a really loud whistle. The figure that puffed out was James, and Edward decided to speak to the red engine.
What do you want, James?
Hey, Diesel 10. You know I have some trucks for you.
James said, ignoring the little blue engine. Diesel 10 got intrigued and decided to move a little closer. James moved back to give Diesel 10 some more space. Diesel 10 kept creeping forward until he passed the points. Edward looked on, very confused. Soon, James was out of Diesel 10's view, and Diesel 10 moved a little closer. He soon saw James move on to a different siding. He was very confused as he looked around and soon heard rumbling coming towards him. When Diesel looked back at James to ask him what the rumbling was, James cut him off by saying,
They are.
Soon Henry raced out with 2 freight cars and screamed, "On the house!"
Ah!
Henry pit the freight cars into him. Both trucks had come off the line, but Edward backed up seeing the crash, but Diesel shot backward and came right off the tracks. Henry puffed forward, getting the trucks out of his way. When he finally did, he raced up to Diesel 10. James decided to inspect from higher ground. And Henry said frighteningly to Edward, "This never happened. Got it?"
Okay, Henry.
Edward said, quite terrified of what he just saw. The last thing he saw was Henry taking away Diesel and James puffing away. Soon Edward puffed away to tell someone. Diesel woke up in a place he had never seen before. It was red and mysterious, and the only thing he could say was,
Where am I? Why is it so red?
Diesel said, slightly annoyed from his eyes burning, but he decided to use Pinchy instead. But when he tried to move, he looked up and saw Pinchy wasn't even there. So in anger, he said,
Pinchy, where are you?
Diesel was very, very annoyed, but he decided to go explore since he had nothing to do.
Well, I guess it won't hurt to explore.
And off he went to go explore. And soon, when he turned the bend, his eyes immediately got really blinded.
Why is it so bright? It's hurting my eyes.
Escape it, he ran off. He soon found himself going down a straight path. Soon, he rolled up to some buffers and got really scared. He was glad to see that the room had turned its normal red, but then he looked up to the wall and saw a thermometer with an ever-increasing temperature. Diesel then realized it was his doom. He started backing up, but then he came off the tracks. As he looked up in the sky one last time, he screamed in pain.
Help! I don't want to die! Ah! Oh, it's just a nightmare. Whew. I thought I was going to burn alive there.
I can assure you, that was no dream.
Earlier,
Oh dear. Sorry, Henry, that I kept you waiting for so long at the points at Timoth. They were jammed and... Oh, my Audrey!
bomb.